How many times have you heard the US dollar is losing value, the US dollar is going down, the US dollar is going to collapse and crumble? And then they sell you a newsletter, a course, a product, a bomb shelter, a special type of food, something that's really good with your enzymes and your gut biome. What type of currency do they take? That's right, US dollars. Here's the truth. The US dollar isn't going anywhere, at least in our lifetimes. Worst case scenario, it becomes the number 2 or maybe the number 3 currency in the world. Will that crush America's economy? Will that bankrupt every single one of its citizens? No. There's a lot of other countries that aren't number 1. They're not the number 1 world reserve currency. They're doing pretty okay. In fact, the US dollar is a lot stronger than you might think. Let's go look at a chart and I'll prove it to you. This is a monthly chart of the US dollar index as it's compared to all other currencies in the world. And what you're going to notice is something very, very shocking and hopefully a little disturbing because all the other pundits and experts are wrong. The US dollar is the strongest it's been since 2001. And this is just math. We're looking at actual data. The highest US dollar ever was 1985. We're talking the gold standard, Nixon era, all that stuff. Then in 2000, during the tech bubble, equities crash. When equities crash and the markets fall, people sell stocks, they sell assets, and they sit in dollars. With interest rates going up, they want more dollars. Well, that's been happening since 2012. And every time you're hearing about the US dollar collapsing, it's only gone higher in the last decade. These experts are trying to separate you from the world's best currency, the US dollar. Are there problems with inflation? Maybe. It can depend on how much you ask and how much money you're making. Are interest rates going up? Yes, that's a fact. That's happening right now. And truthfully, they need to. 0% interest isn't really good for anyone, especially banks. It's really great for consumers. And yes, it will lead to some inflationary levels. But right now, the dollar is actually in a very unique stage because we're actually having deflation in a way. Here's why I say that. Gold is actually at the all-time high. If I zoom out on gold, we're going to notice that gold is as high as it was in 2011 when the dollar was one of its lowest prices. Gold was high, the dollar was low. And now the dollar is also high and gold is high. Fascinating information. Not only that, but if we go look at the overall broader markets, let's just go look at the Dow Jones Industrial Average. The Dow Jones Industrial Average, also on a monthly chart, is pretty high. And it's still in a bullish trend as well. So since 2011, and you can kind of compare both charts, the dollar has been going up and the Dow Jones has been going up. And last but not least, let's go look at the total crypto market cap. Why am I bringing up crypto? Well, yes, obviously crypto has had a really, really big drop in 2021 as most tech stocks did. But what you'll also notice is since 2015 to right now, the total market cap of cryptocurrencies, aka mostly Bitcoin and Ethereum, are only up a paltry 387,000%. What does that mean for us? It means that individuals are getting a lot richer. Have you looked around recently and noticed that people are driving nicer cars? They're buying bigger homes. They're potentially, most likely, less in debt. They're earning more money. And it depends, of course, on your circle and your network of friends. But realistically, if they had any exposure in crypto, which I got lucky and had a lot, but I also had exposure to US dollars, I also had exposure to gold and silver, and I also had exposure to US stocks. If you had any of these assets, any of them, in the last 7 years, you are most likely richer than you were a long time ago, which means the US dollar isn't going anywhere. If you want to listen to an expert who's usually more bullish on the overall economy and thinks that America is the greatest country in the world, we have tons and tons and tons of problems, and we will solve them together. Make sure to subscribe to this YouTube channel because my goal is to enrich lives with mentally liberating education, and I hope you found this video helpful. If you would like to disagree with anything that I would said, I would love to read your disagreements. Post them in the comment section below and tell me, how am I wrong on this issue?